Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's video. So this is going to be posted a lot later than I would have liked, but I thought it's best to post one rather than not post anything at all. Yesterday I did have to post a Fortnite gameplay instead because I just didn't have time to record an Uncharted gameplay, and that gameplay, to be fair, was meant to go up on Friday, but today's video I was busy on Friday, therefore I couldn't post it, so it went up yesterday instead. And basically, in that video, I talk about the hot topic of the week, well, in the gaming world anyway, and that is the recent update that Epic Games applied to Fortnite. I think it was on Wednesday now, where they reverted a lot of the siphon changes, if not all of the siphon changes, that they applied over a month ago. And, well, let's just say a lot of crap went down after that update happened, because a lot of the community, pro gamers, casual gamers, they just weren't happy with the change. And well, I won't go into detail here, but if you're interested to hear more about my thoughts and opinions on the change and whether or not I think it will be brought back, I will link that video on the screen now. I will also link it in the description below. Right, so not too much other miscellaneous stuff to talk about. I do have potentially another game that I want to announce that I might be playing with some friends, some old faces. I did hint this in yesterday's video, but no news to share just yet. Still working out the details, and I'll let you know as and when it's going to take place. Might actually stream it this time round. Last time we didn't stream, I recorded it and I posted some missions, but this time round my other friend might be streaming as well, so yeah, we'll see. More information, as I said, as and when I know the details. Right, so I did think that today might have been my final episode of my trip to the US, my recap story, which took place, what, nearly 6 months, over 6 months ago now. Oh, wait, 6 months ago? Yeah, something like that. Jeez. End of September, start of October. So yeah, about 6 months ago now. Almost April. It's April tomorrow, by the way. Can you believe it? It's April tomorrow. 1st of April. 3 months of this year already gone. It's April tomorrow. It's just, I don't even know what this is. I just don't. I really don't. It's just it's insane. Like, it's just insane how fast this year has gone. And I don't even know what I've done this year. I really don't. Besides play Fortnite and make videos, and stream. I really don't know what else I've done this year. I really don't. Just yeah, really scary how fast time flies when you get older. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, so today's gameplay is Uncharted 4, obviously multiplayer, and it's Bounty Hunter match. And again, one of the earlier games. And if I'm honest, in terms of my usual standard, this game is a little bit messy, and I don't really like messy games. I like games where I absolutely dominate. Those are the games that I like to share, because obviously who doesn't like to show off. But I do actually get a few nice kills in this game, and it was messy, but we played well as a team, and both sides were sort of going backwards and forwards. It's one of those matches where it really could have gone either way. I don't really know how best to describe it, but it's one of those matches where it starts off rough, like both teams are taking losses, and I die quite a few times at the start as well, but then everything settles a little bit and you sort of get relaxed into the game, and then you understand what the enemy team are doing, therefore you react better to it, and especially in my situation, that's definitely the case. So yeah, I won't ruin the result, but as I said, a slightly messy game, but I think an entertaining game to watch, otherwise I wouldn't have posted it, so hope you enjoy. Right, so continuing with our US story then. So last week I talked about how I finally adjusted to life on the sea, and then we pretty much returned back to LA. It was only a 3-day trip. I was seasick for 2 days out of the 3, more or less. Only really started to enjoy it the 3rd day, and then of course the next morning was when we arrived back in LA, and that was the cruise over. So yeah, almost at the end of my US trip now. I did think today might have been the final episode, but not quite. I remember that we actually did something else when we got back to LA. Well, actually no. So we disembarked off the ship, and by the way, I'll link that video on the screen now. I will also link it in the description below if you do want to check out what happened last week on the final day of the cruise. So we got back to LA, got disembarked off the ship, and then we had to drive all the way back to San Francisco. So LA to San Francisco, another like 5-6 hour drive or something. My poor aunt, by the way, she did all the driving, because obviously it's her car, and you know, she's got a license and all the rest. So she drove us all the way back to San Francisco, and there were some surprise faces waiting for us. So I kind of already knew that this was going to take place, but my aunt and my uncle, who live in Canada, and their 2 little kids, came to visit. Unfortunately, they couldn't make the wedding down in LA because I think the journey was just too far for them. But they managed to get to San Francisco, and they were there because there was going to be a second part of the wedding. So the main ceremony and all the rest of it took place down in LA, but then up in San Francisco, where my cousin still does have a lot of friends and family, and not all of them could make it down south to LA, we were going to have like a second part, so it was called like a wedding banquet. And basically it was none of the ceremony, none of that stuff, just pure eating, socializing, and for some people just to have a good old drink, to be honest with you, which I don't really do, so I just enjoyed the food and the company. So yeah, my aunt and uncle who live in Canada, I mean, I've been to Canada once, I think it was a long time ago, maybe 5 years ago now. No, longer actually, I went to Canada quite a long time ago. But I went to visit them a couple of years, well, a few years back now, and they come and visit us in the UK quite a lot, because obviously we have a lot more family living in the UK, so they come and visit us every couple of years or so. But yeah, it was nice to see them again, and obviously little kids as well. I'm gonna say young kids, but they're not that young. It's terrible, I don't actually remember how old they are, but they're not that young. I think one's like 8, and the other one's like, I don't know, god, jeez, like 13, 14, I'm pretty sure it's a teenager now, I can't even remember, it's so bad. But the teenager, or the older of the two, is really tall, takes after his dad, and the younger of the two is, well, he's just a typical kid, isn't he? And it's really funny because when I was on the ship, obviously I didn't have any social media or anything like that, because there was no free Wi-Fi. You could pay for Wi-Fi, but it's really expensive, and I'm genuinely not bothered, to be honest with you. But one of the things that I did think about when I was on the ship was that I was going to miss out on the launch of season 6 of Fortnite, and yeah, I mean, because obviously I played quite a lot of Fortnite. I played a lot before I went to America, because I bought data. I distinctly remember that every time the ship got close to shore, so I think Catalina, I got some signal, and I picked up a few notifications. I can't remember if I got any in Mexico or not. I don't know if it worked there, but yeah, I remember once we returned back to LA, I had literally hundreds of notifications from things like Twitter and stuff like that, just flooding in, because of course it was the launch of season 6 of Fortnite, and I followed, you know, certain news sites and stuff. People just posting lots of stuff, and obviously, you know, leaks and rumors and, you know, undiscovered cosmetics and that sort of thing, things that I like to leak, which I'm not actually bothered about that sort of stuff, but it was just funny because I had all these notifications come through, and I was just reading through like pages and pages and pages of Twitter just to get an idea of what season 6 was about. Anyway, so yeah, where was I? We got back to San Francisco, surprise family visit from my Canadian aunt and uncle. And then it turns out that my little cousin also plays Fortnite. Not a massive surprise, if I'm honest with you, but he plays Fortnite, and he's got it on his Nintendo Switch, and he brought his Switch with him. And basically, because obviously he was playing it, I was just talking to him about season 6, and he was just giving me all the information. I could see it all firsthand. So I saw the battle pass, I saw this, that, the other. I saw some of the map changes as well, but I did miss out on a few things. I distinctly remember missing out on the part where Loot Lake was the bouncy like surface. I missed out entirely, which may be a little bit sad. But I got to play a little bit of Fortnite. Didn't win any matches on the Switch. Like some of the kids on Nintendo, I don't know, maybe it's just me not great on the Switch, but some of the kids were pretty decent. I thought my cousin managed to get a couple of wins, show me how to do it, but I don't know. I mean, it was just really funny because I'd gone so long without hearing anything or seeing anything about Fortnite, like a couple of weeks now almost. And then suddenly my little cousin's there, and he's showing me how to play on the Switch, and I just thought it was really funny. And as I said, that was my first taste of season 6 of Fortnite. So I got a little fix before I went back home to the UK. One of the things that actually made me chuckle was that my little cousin was constantly banging on about V-Bucks, and was like, if I win a match, will you give me V-Bucks? I'm like, bro, I don't have V-Bucks myself. Why are you asking me for V-Bucks? I don't have any skins. And he's bought obviously the battle pass, and his parents are giving him a bit of money for V-Bucks. And it's just, I don't know, like, obviously he's a kid, so he cares about this sort of stuff, but I genuinely don't. And he's just trying to tap me up for some V-Bucks. I'm just sitting there just laughing at him. And I don't think he quite understands that I literally don't have any V-Bucks. I don't have any skins. I don't spend any money in this game, even though I've played it a stupid amount. But here's him asking me, Alan, for V-Bucks. And yeah, I just giggled, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so back to this wedding banquet then. So exactly as the name suggests, it was all about eating, all about drinking, and it was a slightly different affair to the wedding. So the wedding dinner, if you recall, was sort of like I wouldn't say a buffet, but it was a self-served buffet style setup. So you went to the station, you got your stuff, you brought it back to the table, and you ate. But it was all good quality food, don't get me wrong. But this banquet was, there were tables again, and you find your name, you sit down. But this time round, they would bring the dishes to you, and they were like something stupid, like 9 courses or something. And some of the food was, really, really good. I've been to these things before because it's sort of like a wedding tradition, and yeah, it was just like, I think it was like 9-10 courses, something like that. And you know, some of the courses are kind of expensive, you could tell. So just off the top of my head, I can't name all the courses because I genuinely can't remember, but the ones that do stick out in my mind were, one of the starter dishes was like a pork crackling or something. It's like the underbelly of a pig. Was it the side of a pig? I can't remember. But it's cooked, and the skin is like proper crispy, and it's seasoned really well, and it's so nice. It's definitely a delicacy, and it's expensive, but it's a really nice dish. I think there might have been a soup if I remember correctly, of some sort. And then one of the other starter dishes was like this deep fried crab claw meat. Oh, that was really nice. Really nice. I love seafood. I love shellfish. I'm not a massive fan of fish, but I love shellfish, like crabs and stuff like that. Love it. Speaking of shellfish, one of the other dishes was lobster. So there's pieces of lobster on the platter, and it was all seasoned. So you had part of the claws and the tail and the body, and it was just all, oh, it was very nice. And I can't remember what other mains there were, to be honest with you. There was some other stuff as well. There was a lot more, but I can't remember any of it off the top of my head. But it was all tasty. Every single course was tasty. And by the end of it, everyone was full. No question about it. Everyone was full. There was that much food. And there was a lot left over as well, so we took a bit home because otherwise it would have gone to waste. And in my family, we don't like to leave food behind. Like, if there's food that's edible, we'll take it home. It's either a midnight snack or breakfast the next day, and I love it. I bloody love it. One of the best parts of going out for a meal and over ordering is that you know you've got food then for the next day. It's great, or later in the evening, depending. And then obviously there were a few dessert dishes as well, and can't really remember too much apart from there were this platter of cookies or something, and I assume they were freshly baked. They might have been store bought, I don't know, but they were so light and fluffy and tasty and crunchy. Oh my days. Seriously, desserts on point. On point. Right, so I don't think I've got any more time to carry on talking today, unfortunately. Next week's video will probably be the last one of the series. Having said that, I do talk quite a lot, and we didn't do a great deal in the last few days after the wedding banquet. That was the last sort of major highlight of the trip. But we did a few small things which I'm looking forward to talking about, because it's stuff that was just interesting and cool for me because I'd never really done it before, and it's stuff that you wouldn't really come across in the UK, you know. So it's just a taste of life in America, and especially in the area that my aunt lives anyway. So yeah, I'll talk about that more in next week's video. As per usual, if you enjoyed today's video, do consider tapping the like button. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you've got any thoughts or share me regarding anything I've talked about, anything you've seen in the gameplay, do let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.